Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's begin with just a little bit of singing to get ourselves in the mood for our evening. Here we go, we sing.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach, that one's harder to say.
It is. It
Yes.
takes a lot of you gotta Chag Sameach. We're so happy to spend a very brief time with you before we all transition back into our other space for our Seder this evening. So we're going to do a short service. I'm Rabbi Hyatt. This is Cantor Sachs. And we'll just get right on started. We begin, as usual, for the first of 2 times tonight, that we are going to bring light into our celebration, into this holiday, into Shabbat, into our world.
So there is a tradition that you can always bring Shabbat in early. And if you look at these beautiful stained glass windows, you can see that we are not quite dark yet. So we are going to say our candle blessing for Shabbat in this service, but in the next service at 6 o'clock, we will be singing our Yom Tov candle blessing to welcome Erev Pesach. So we have delegated to each service 1 candle blessing. So tonight, at this moment, we are in Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adliknen shel Shabbat.
And so we place ourselves in the mindset for Shabbat and Passover simultaneously. Let's read responsively. This is the season of freedom from the will of tyrants, of freedom from the bondage of self, to become a nation and a people together. This is the season of release from captivity and oppression, of release from a foreign land to receive God's holy word. This is the season of redemption, of redeeming our bodies and souls, of redeeming our strength and power in service to Am Yisrael, the people of Israel. This is the season of freedom, of reliving the ancient journey, of remembering the treacherous path. This is the season that calls us to stand together, the season that summons us to God's law, the season that leads us home. And with that, we move into Shabbat, into the home that we find in this peaceful moment every week as we anticipate and find gratitude for the Shabbat that is slowly descending on us with the words of Lecha Dodi.
To our sanctuary as we welcome our Shabbat spirit. Oh, we shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha, uvtzolo, tochem unei, om segula. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela.
We remain standing for the Baruch.
Oh
As you taught Torah to those whose name I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated.
This is the other thing that we're going to do twice tonight, is sing the words of Michamocha. We ask, who is like you, God? These are the words that we sang when we made it across the sea and became a free people rather than a people who was enslaved. We sing this every Shabbat, and we mean it every Shabbat. But tonight, on the eve of Passover, when we really feel that freedom, we sing it maybe with a little bit of a different understanding of just what it means to have reached freedom. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We are slaves because freedom means more than broken chains. Where there is poverty and hunger and homelessness, there is no freedom. Where there is prejudice and bigotry and discrimination, there is no freedom. Where there's violence and torture and war, there is no freedom. And where each of us is less than he or she might be, we are not free, not yet. And so as we prepare to understand our own state of being in the world, our own freedoms and our own enslavements, I invite you to rise as you are able for our tefillah.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagir Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagir Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר, מושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך מימין ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. We take a moment now to take the beauty of this moment of us sitting and praying together here at home, wherever you may be, and we use the beauty to give to others, to say a prayer for healing those in our world, in our lives that we know are in need of that prayer. And as always, in the middle of our two verses, I will ask you if you have names, in addition to reading those names that we know of those that we are praying for today.
מקור הברכה to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Today we are praying for Zachary Hoffman, David Karner, Jean Silber, Scott Englander, Stacy Hoffman, Phyllis Schulman, James Tepper, Alan Davidson, Douglas Hamilton, Ira Levine, Leslie Rohde, Kara Smoley, Richard Seedroff, David Freed, Rick Gratch, Betty Heller, Marcine Goldman, Alex Busnovetsky, Lori Goldman, Laura Culver, Carol Weiner, Jared Siegel, Arnold Brodsky, Jana Vishnitsky, Peggy Lehman, Rebecca Zuckerman, Gary Potashnik, Murray Unell, Sheila Rosenberg, Murray Rosenberg, Nancy Sager, Carol Plotka, Art Malman, and Jerry Fellman. Are there other names that you would like to say of those for whom you are saying this Misha Berach prayer of healing today? You can say them out loud. If you're at home, say them out loud, type them in, hold them in your heart. We pray for them with you, as well as all those who are hurt, wounded, scared, displaced, anywhere in our world, those who are sick, those who are suffering, those who need our prayers. We say, Baruch atah Adonai makor harefuah, blessed are you, Adonai, the source of all healing. We take a moment now for silent prayer.
In addition to the Seder that we will enjoy very shortly, on Pesach, on Passover, we also read from Shir HaShirim, from this book from the Bible that talks about love and rebirth and recommitment. And we talk about the great love between God and the Jewish people as represented by the story of our freedom from Egypt. And so we think about that when we take this text from this book, Shir HaShirim, Dodi Li, Va'ani lo haroeh, my beloved is mine, and I am his. Dodi Li, Va'ani lo haroeh, Ba'shoshanim, Dodi Li, Mizor olam, Min
We rise as we are able for the Aleinu.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, vanachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week in our community, we mourn the passing of Elizabeth Lipper and Shanti Hazan. And we link their names to those who have passed in the previous month: Jean Oxner, Bob Fetter, Wally Weiss, Kevin Bonilla, Florine Boxer, Ruth Patashnik, and Shirley Garden-Schwartz. And we link their names to those who have passed at this season in years gone by: Robert Paul Berenbaum, Chaplain Donald Beers, Donald Bragg, Morris Catalan, William G. Cohn, Irene G. Trudy Korsky, Stephen Diamond, Henry Frankel, Alfred A. Friedheim, Irving I. Friedman, Lena Friedman, Perry Friedman, Ronald Mark Goldstein, Blanche L. Gordon, Sylvia Greenberg, Rachel Gross, Francis Halprin, Louis I. Isaacs, Isaac Isaacson, Sidney S. Jacobs, Eleanor Judd, Thelma Kaufman, James Kessler, Harold S. Kleiner, Laura Stein Levitt, Mark Levy, Abraham S. Levy, Edward Lewin, Fiona Lisbanova, Moritz Lowenheim, Donald Lozo, Adrian Marks, Dr. Edward Mason, Stella A. Michael, Florence Nadler, Morris Nierenberg, Leatrice K. Peck, Naoma Pelton, Maurice Ruler, Alex Rittenbaum, Edna Porges Robbins, Babette Mincer Robinson, Hilda Ross, Louis Rudolph, Matilda Salomon, Harry Sandler, Harry A. Sandman, Jeffrey Schulman, Gloria Schulman, Francis Alexander Shapiro, Irving Sheroff, Minnie Shefflin, George D. Scheidler, Elizabeth Schwader Kelly, Harry G. Silverberg, Reuben Simmons, Sarah L. Simon, Alfred Simons, Gordon C. Singles, Sadie L. Snyder, Roanne Bernstein Spector, Emily Spitz, Leo Stillman, Jean J. Sussman, Samuel J. Talpers, Nathan Tobias, L. Lester Weatherhorn, and Benjamin Zeidman. And we link their names to 10 of Colleen's 420, for whom our Finer Chapel stands as memorial: Rudolph Fisher, Sasha Fisher, Hedvika Fischera, Edita Fischerova, Elsa Fischerova, Evzeni Fischerova, Katerina Fischerova, Marta Fischerova, Olga Fischerova, and Sonia Fischerova. We say Zichronam Livracha. May their memories forever be a blessing. If you are mourning the loss of a loved one tonight and would like to add their names to our memorial, please do so at this time. If you are mourning the loss of a loved one in the previous 30 days, I ask you now to rise as you are able. If If you are mourning the loss of a loved one in the previous year, I ask you now to rise as you are able. If you are observing a yahrzeit this Shabbat or this Passover holiday, I ask you now to rise as you are able. And together now we all rise as one community, in solidarity with those who mourn and on behalf of those for whom there is no one left to say Kaddish. And together we say these eternal words. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv ve'emru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran ve'alma ve'emru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'emru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'emru amen. And may the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated very briefly, because we are about to, in just a moment, when we get into our closing song, turn around and walk into Seder, which I'm sure Steve Stark will be very happy to lead us straight toward in the North Social Hall. So we will begin our evening. You can find your name tags, you can find your tables. We will get settled and started throughout our evening, and there'll be a more formal welcome at Seder in just a moment. If you would like to continue celebrating Shabbat and Passover with us tomorrow morning at 9:30, Rabbi Black will be leading Torah study on Zoom or streamed. You can find information about that on our website. And at 11 o'clock, Rabbi Black and I will be leading a Shabbat first day of Passover service in the Finer Chapel, which you are welcome to come to in person, or also it will be streamed online as well. And so, with that, I think we are going to end with one more quick song that comes from our Shir HaShirim. Not Shir HaShirim, Shirat Hayam. Oziva Zimrat Yah, the song that we sing as we ran through the sea toward freedom. We sing, God is my strength and my might, and will be my salvation. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Let's go have a Seder.